Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Satsang. We use WhatsApp as a means of communication, so anyone who wants to send questions, they can send them through the number that appears there. It is easier and makes communication more fluid because I'm not watching the chat. Okay, let's make some silence first. Empty of everything. There's nothing important enough to hold. Everything is without importance, without value, without substance. No past, no present, no future. All is left is emptiness, void. Stay with that. So let's see what we have here. Dear Sriman, okay, let me just. Okay, I will answer your questions now. Dear Shima, since last time I have integrated the meditation posture without any back support. My body is not used to sit straight that way, and even if I try to stay still, my chest slowly goes down. I put it back when I notice it. I try to have the perfect posture, which takes often my attention and distract me from keeping my attention at the source. Could you speak about this? Yes. So the character, the seeker, the one who is in the quest for truth, has his mind is in the goal. It is he as he is, with all his story, the things he need to find, to realize, to satisfy, with all his hopes and sadnesses, sufferings, and all of this. So this character is the one who wants to arrive at the source, realization, to happiness, as he is. So in the view of the character, realization, it is like the cherry on top of the cake. So he wants to get there. But for him to get there, he has to remain as he is. The arriving, the getting to the realization, this is good, this is no problem for this character. Transformation, that is the problem. And as it is not seen that it is the way that he is the obstacle to realization. As this is not seen, then a lot of miles are done in the quest, but not really moving from where he is standing. So in a way, there's always the tendency to adapt teachings, philosophies, whatever they are, there's the tendency to adapt them, first by the understanding that you can get from them. You will adapt them according to the needs you have, to the way you need to perceive yourself and the world. You will do these adaptations so that you don't need to go through any transformation. So one teaching is given to you, you pick it up and you adapt it to your world. Techniques are given for meditation, for example, and they are adapted to suit the maintenance of your world. And whatever is there that is starting to create some imbalance in that world, this is perceived as threatening. In the beginning, it's not even perceived because you just don't go there. You may do some superficial changes, but deep transformations, it is difficult. And transformation means, in this context, something which is complex, transforming in something which is much more simpler. So another word for this transformation that can help you to understand what transformation means is dissolution. Like a piece of soap, as you use it and rub it in and throw water on top of it, it becomes thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner until it disappears. So this is the process of transformation that I'm talking about. Everybody observes that personalities change according to time, and they can become more complicated, more sophisticated, or more simple, or they change a lot. So they are always changing according to the motivations, to the quest that it is in front of them, with their goals. And this changing is always according to the need which is there. So whatever is your real quest, this is the transformation that it is made. So when it is a journey from the character, his transformations, the ones that he cherishes, are the ones that bring him something extra. Some teaching that he can understand mentally and use it to improve. It is self-improvement. Self-improvement is something that in the mind of the character is positive, is good. So whatever is there which makes input, and increases and makes the character more knowledgeable, more skillful, this is good, it is embraced. Whatever is there that starts to take something from it, or that doesn't give anything, this is not good. Character will start reacting to this, and it doesn't want to. So meditation and deep meditation is one of those things that it is more difficult to entertain in the way that the character enjoys, likes. Because it's like a fish in a water tank. That is his world. If you take the fish out of the water tank, it dies. The same with the character. You stop the input, silence is which is there, is that what remains. And this character starts to dissolve, becoming more less complex, more simple, until so that the fight will be to transform whatever is there, which is available for the quest for truth, as something you can use and you can make input in your world and maintain the character as he is. So, and what has this have to do with anything that I was with the question? The posture of the meditation, the techniques, and all of this, they have the purpose of them is to make this transformation. One of the purposes is to make this transformation from something which is complex to something which is simple. See, if you look at the drawing, it's like a drawing, a schematic of the energy field, you will see that there are some parts which are more dense, some parts that flow much more, others that doesn't flow or flow much less. Instead of straight lines, you have different turnings, and this is like the program of the character. This is the base of the character. And as you sit in meditation, straight, as I shown, energy starts moving up and trying to go into a straight line, an even way, everywhere in an even way. So wherever there is too much, which is being diverted into that direction because it's easier, it starts reducing. Places that don't flow, energy starts breaking them. Breaking them is not really the word, but it starts to dissolve those crystallizations. It starts to preparing and cleaning everything to make it aligned, balanced. And this means at the level of the personality, transformation. So all the thoughts that arise, the reactions that are there, instantly available, these things are all programming of this energetic construct. And as just by sitting in a line upward position, as I have shown, as it has been shown thousands and thousands of years before by the sages, those who practice meditation, this starts to remove these constructions and make it simple in the way that I've explained it. And this brings transformations at the personality, at a lot of aspects, physically, energetically, mentally. And again, the character comes and he wants meditation, for example, if he wants it, because he may believe that this is the route towards freedom, like he would want something else. But transformation, this is what he will fight. So there will be the will to make meditation, but at the same time to protect itself from that transformation. So the way that the person, the way that the body presents itself as you see it, where it bends, where it doesn't bend, where it becomes straight, and all of this, this has a meaning in that construct. And as you sit in meditation, this process begins. So what will physically will happen? There will be a need to go back to the old position, to the same position, or to have some support and all of this, so that in a way you can counter what is being made. It's not a mental thing, it is instinctive even. This level of protection is instinctive. And you put your position there, but then you go back and you go back. In your description, you're closing this one, this center, and this is protection, protecting which is there, curving it. And there's a lot of ways. For example, there are some people that do like this, and it is like here at this level, it becomes twisted like this, or even this meditation like this without the spine upward. This is making how do you say this, a division, so that this upper energy gets concentrated at the higher centers and the lower energy gets concentrated at the lower centers. So it seems that there is something happening, and sometimes you get experiences and lots of apparent spiritual things, but it's not touching the lower levels. The lower levels are protected there. So the energy is blocked at that level. And when you sit in that position, there will be discomfort because there is your own reading of energy. The conditionings are there. And as you remain and remain and remain, there will be discomfort, there will be pain, there will be pain not just at the physical level, but at an emotional level also. There will be a lot of things until it becomes comfortable. If you're sitting in a posture now, choosing that which is comfortable, instead of that which is correct, you're adapting the sitting posture to your world, to that which you want to preserve. As you assume the sitting posture, the correct sitting posture, there will be discomfort, and this is the process of transformation. And it doesn't matter if at the beginning there's nothing else that can be done apart from holding the posture. Because if you do this with intent, intensely, it will not take so long to master the position. 15 days, 1 month, and more or less it will be firm into that position. But if you're giving in and trying to move your attention to higher things before you're established in the posture, then you'll spend a lot more time just fighting with this position, then putting in place, and it goes again, and putting in place, and it leaves, and all of this, and you're actually you're losing more time. So the first stillness is at the physical level. And the character has to learn to wait. Okay, so you're not being able to rest your attention at the source. No problem. First, master the position. And that will be much better. Because the one who is in the quest of truth, that character which is in the quest for truth, he will not get it. He will not see it, experience, live it, whatever. He won't. Because he will die again and again and again and again and again and again through that process. That which comes closest, the closest, is that which is more simple. This is why it is meant with the innocence of a child, becoming childlike. So that child, that innocent, that is the one who gets the closest to the brightness of truth. And that is which is the witness that will witness that, and that which will dissolve. And before this, a lot of things has to be left behind. So all these things that seem unimportant, like the posture and all of this, it has a lot of importance, everything in its own place. Then as this posture is already mastered, then you don't have to waste any time with this or attention. You just sit and continue and deepen your practice. And then also posture will become a time that it will not be important. And the spine, as I spoken before, there is the video of meditation. Those who have not seen it, I will ask them to put there in the chat. So the posture of the spine, this posture, it's compared in the yogic tradition as the bow of the warrior. There is the resting bow, which is the resting posture, and there is the meditation posture, which is the stretch bow, ready to fire. And this is the one which is intended. And as you sit, for those who are more sensible, more sensitive, as you sit in that upright position as it was shown, energy starts moving immediately. Meditation starts immediately. That which is that which the technique helps to begin with, it starts on its own just by sitting correctly. And the process begins. Then, of course, all the struggle to get out from there begins also. You have said in satsang that doing things that you fear is a way to go faster. But the way to go faster, understand this simple and complex, the difference in going faster for the complex and for the simple. For the complex, this going faster is about spiritual greed. For the simple, this going faster, it is about the increasing of devotion, of divine love in one's heart, and the need to join the source of that love. And as it is about spiritual greed, spiritual voracity. You may push and push and push, but there are things that cannot be maintained. Posture cannot be maintained. Certain efforts cannot be maintained. It has to become simple first. Many of the fears I used to have dissolved over my years of practice. I feel like to think about what I could do that would trigger fear. Just makes my mind more active. Isn't it better to just intensify my practice and don't think about this? One thing that I have fear about is receiving your guidance, not being ready for it. Well, in a way, like I said in that satsang about fears, more or less everybody has a notion of what fears are there. And of course, with time and with practice, fears tend to dissolve. And it's not about the fear being there or not. It is about using the fear for this process of transformation, of becoming more simple, or using this fear to make this character more strong. So you look at worldly people, and everybody is trying to conquer their fears. And if they conquer their fears, their character becomes more bulletproof, more strong, more capable. So these conquering fears can also be used to make this character stronger. And this is the opposite of what we want. And how does this happen? It happens with these mistaken goals and moving from security a little bit and experiencing fears and getting used to them, in a sense, growing beyond them. But what I'm talking about, fear, is to be exposed to fear in a fragility stance. So fear puts you in the fragile place. And this fragility, with the motivation, the right motivations, the quest for truth, this fragility, it's what helps you to, for this transformation to simplicity. It doesn't make also the character more weak. It makes it more soft, more bendable, more receptive. It is different from making it more bulletproof, more strong. So what happens through the years, it is usually normal, more or less. Everybody, some more than others. With time, fears tend to reduce, more or less, because they reduce in a sense, but they get together in another way. And as life comes to an end, they will come back with a different face. But that's another subject. So fragility has to be there. And if you sit, for example, if you intensify your practice because this is making your mind restless, understand, agree, it is like this, it brings some restlessness, especially if you're really doing this exercise and really looking at your fears, because if these fears are hidden from you, you don't want to see them. You'll just be looking for, but where is it? I already solved them. Where are they? And you will not see it, because even to see this, it takes time and work. Superficial fears are easier to see, but then there are the others. But it is unavoidable. the more closer you get to fears, agitation will be there for sure. But now let's go back to practice. Is it better to just intensify practice and let's see? It is a way and it works, of course, but you just wait more time because you're intensifying your practice. It is preparing you to face fears, certain fears, that which is standing in the way of freedom. And fears are something which is very strong in this because it is the knots of that which you call reality. So the more you intensify your practice, the more closer you will get on facing these knots, these fears. But if you know that you will have to go through there eventually, this is where you make it faster. And as you're facing fears, make no mistake about it, you will experience restlessness, you will experience a weakness, fragility, pain, a lot of pain when it is the real process. And as you remain in that fragility without running away, and this is the most difficult, then fear loses power over you. It is intense. But of course, you can intensify your practice and don't worry about this, but it will take longer. When things are in place, then it is a different story. Like I said, this is for the beginning. But it works with all fears, and it should be done until there are fears connected to worldly goals, securities, attachments, and dependencies. And you will get to a point where those that you can solve already, you will solve. And those that you cannot solve, well, you will be seeing them, you won't be forgetting them. They are like in a shelf where you can observe them, and you will continue intensifying your practice because in the presence of certain fears, that is the only thing to do. But when the real work begins, restlessness is there, presents itself. It is quite a big struggle, and sometimes there is no silence. And sometimes, after a big struggle, silence appears, strong, big, present. And then after a while, more agitation and more noise, because that silence has allowed for deeper noise to arise. If noise is arising, it's because it is there. It's not being brought by something external. And the more noise that comes, and the more you can be still in the middle of all that, not letting yourself being pressed by it, but feeling it, experiencing all that restlessness, suffering, pain, and all of that, but still remaining and not doing anything to change that. That will help you to move beyond that also, and this will bring the experience of more silence, bigger silence even, until all these restlessness are gone, and then it is a different journey. Then there is real silence. But at this stage, there's no dependencies with the world, with worldly things, no fight for acceptance, security, none of this. So this is at another level. But to arrive here, there's a lot of struggle, and you are your biggest obstacle. Because in one sense, you fight and you strive and you try hard, to keep your practices, to move towards truth, whatever is the way that you envision that. But at the same time, you're trying even harder to maintain your world as it is. And most of times, you don't even see it, or you treat it as something naive, unimportant. But this is how it happens. This is the mechanics of it. It is like this. So this attitude is very important to learn to maintain yourself in a defenseless position, in an attitude where you're not trying to defend yourself from nothing or anyone. So, eyes closed during your meditation. As things become intense, with discomfort or whatever, you hold your grounds and you maintain yourself. But understand, even this attitude, there is just the being there, and there is the making some resistance towards that discomfort. These are different attitudes, and you should always maintain yourself in a position where you're not fighting against it. You're not fighting back. Because doing that, you're just creating resistance at the same level of that which is coming. And that means protecting, preserving your world, your illusion. Eyes open, it is the same. In interactions with others, others are coming with their points of view, and there's a need for you, because this is a need from both ends, to assert the vision you have from the world, to assert the vision you have from reality. And as the other comes with his own vision, there is this tendency to bring your own, to put your own on top of the other, to assert your own vision of the world, from the simplest things to the most important ones, and you're not accepting. So this defenseless attitude, eyes open, should be in a way that whatever the other is bringing, you're not defending also. And the needs that are arising for you to put something, to say this, to comment, you just take them out of the way, and you remain open. Open. Not open to receive what the other is giving, just not offering resistance to it. Learning to remain with this attitude all the time. This will help this dissolving, this dissolution, this becoming more simple. Okay, so if there's any questions about this, you can send it now, or else then for today we will end. So we are trying different schedules for satsang to see which ones are better. So tomorrow, for those of Portuguese language that are watching, tomorrow Portuguese will be at the same time of today, 9 o'clock in the morning. And not sure yet if there will be satsang in the weekend. We will see. Then we will publish. We will make this put on Facebook. If not, then we will continue next week in the same, probably in the same time. So just keep following the the social network, the informations will be there. And also, if you want to send your WhatsApp number, you can put there in the chat, or you can send by private message or whatever, and we can put you on the list, and you will receive the warnings of the satsang. Okay. So it is all for today. So in English, or Saturday, 9 o'clock, or then we'll see next week. Okay. Continue intensifying your practices, make your process real.